in honor of the 1-year anniversary of the actual worst day of my life. Here's how I found out my boyfriend of 7 years was cheating on me. Start off by saying that before everything went down, this was my longest and healthiest.
If you're thinking about dumping him, I'm gonna tell you right now, dump him. I'm gonna assume that he's not treating you the way you want to be treated, and you're considering breaking up with him for whatever reason. I'm also gonna assume that you've tried and tried again to get him to change, and you want him to change because you love him, and of course you want to work out. Well, here's the thing. There is no losing situation to dump.
Optimum tun 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 saur. Cappuccino arobat. Din 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 arobat ma din 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 dun. La vaca Saturna. Brr brr transformer. Transformers karamararam braram. Marararam braram.
Okay, so to start this off, I just want to say that he treated me so well, like literally no hate to him at all. But yeah, let's get into this. Okay, so basically, in the start of our relationship, like, I got with him knowing that he had never had a girlfriend before, so I didn't really expect him to, like, know how to, like, be a gentleman or anything like that. But once I started dating him, like, I noticed, like, damn, like, this guy's he's been raised right. Like, he opened all my doors, he bought me flowers, he always told me I was so pretty, like, which is all, like, bare minimum things, but, like, obviously, like, in this generation, that's a little bit harder to.
Mijn ex is nu samen met mijn zus. Hoi broertje, ik wilde even mijn verhaal aan je kwijt. Mijn ex en ik waren 3 jaar bij elkaar. Onze relatie had ups en downs. Het laatste stukje van onze relatie deed hij echt raar. Hij draaide altijd zijn telefoon om en had ook zijn code veranderd. Maar toch kwam het super onverwachts dat hij het uitmaakte. En zijn reden was, we zijn uit elkaar gegroeid. Ik had oprecht enorme verdriet en we waren al aan het praten over samenwonen. En toen kreeg ik 2 maanden geleden een DM van een klasgenoot dat ze mijn ex had gezien met mijn zus. Hand in hand in het centrum. Ik ben direct naar de kamer van mijn zus gerend en ze ontkende natuurlijk alles. Toen zei ik dat ik foto's had gezien en huilend zei ze dus dat het wel klopte. Het werd echt zwart voor mijn ogen. Het ergste is ook nog eens dat ze me heeft getroost terwijl ik liefdesverdriet had. Het was een lul en ik verdiende beter volgens haar. Mijn ex en mijn zus hebben ook eerlijk toegegeven dat ze elkaar al leuk begonnen te vinden tijdens onze relatie. Ik woon nog thuis met mijn ouders en mijn zus en hij komt regelmatig langs voor haar. Het enige wat mijn ouders zeggen is dat liefde ingewikkeld is. Ik kan financieel nog niet uit huis. Wat zouden jullie doen in haar situatie?
You will literally never believe where I am. Okay, so 3 days ago I had a vision. I had a vision like that, so Raven. I had a dream, okay? And this dream showed that my ex was missing me. He misses me, yeah? He loves me so hard. I'm like the air he breathes. So I was like, do you know what? I'm going to take matters into my own hands. My mum just texted me saying, where are you? When are you going to be home? It's 1:30 in the morning. Little does she know, when she went to work today, I packed a bag up, got on the train, travelled halfway across the country to do what? To come to my ex-boyfriend's house. I get here, he's not here, he's at work. Guess who is here? His mother. Okay, his mother. We order a Chinese, we can start drinking, we get talking, okay, the gossip's coming out, it's flowing, conversation's flowing, time passes, we're watching Netflix, everything. He doesn't know I'm here. It's 1:30 in the morning, he's going to come back home from work after a 12-hour shift, okay, an all fucking day shift. He's either going to get a restraining order or he's going to lips me, okay. I shall update you soon. It's been a blast. It's been a pleasure. I'll let you know if I end up getting arrested. Why would I get arrested for that? I don't think you can get arrested for that. Anyways, bye.
So my boyfriend just broke up with me for no reason. He took me to do all of my favorite things, and when we got back to the house, he was like, yeah, this relationship, it isn't gonna work anymore. So girl, I started laughing because I thought it was a joke, and I start hysterically laughing, right? And he's like, you don't want to talk? And I start laughing even harder. He was like, okay, I'm about to leave. So I start because I'm thinking it was a joke. And y'all, he walked out. And I'm thinking he about to walk back in because this got to be a joke. After we just had the best day, and he never came back. This happened to me in 2017, so let me give y'all the full story time. I knew my ex-boyfriend for years and years and years, but I never paid him no mind. I never paid him dust, but somehow we ended up reconnecting, and honestly, he is like one of my favorite exes that I've had to this day because number 1, he was a provider. Number 2, he used to go all out for the dates. Number 3, he was romantic, like right up my alley, like so thoughtful, so sweet, just everything, right? But on the other hand, he had a lot of deeply rooted traumas because His dad was one of the founding members of the Colombian cartel, and his mama was a dope fiend. She was pressure now, like green eyes, light skin. She looked good. So I understand why he was supposed to be serving her, and he fell in love. This sounds like a Tubi movie. He fell in love with her. So the mama ended up putting him up for adoption, right? Because she had a really bad addiction problem.
Things my ex-boyfriend did and I still stayed. On my birthday, we got into a fight, so he threw my present into oncoming traffic. He made me sleep on FaceTime with him every single night because he thought I would just text boys all night. One time when we were hanging out, I caught him cheating, and he ran upstairs, locked himself in his mom's room and was saying he was gonna off himself. I invited him camping one time with my family, and he woke me up in the middle of the night and he was threatening to go wander around in the woods. And it was like 3 a.m. So I had to beg him all night to stay awake all night to make sure he didn't leave. He would go through like my texts with my family. Like no one else, but always like my mom and my dad and my sister. One time we went mini golfing and I wasn't taking the game serious enough, and so he stormed off and left. And I still don't know where he went to this day. Whenever I would post like a selfie on my story, he would remake the same selfie and pose and post it on his story mocking me. Whenever we would get into a fight, he would turn his location on and go to his ex's house. This one girl had texted him and said, if you bring me a Diet Coke, I'll give you a kiss. So he did, and I'm pretty sure I was at his house. And then after, I found out about it the next day from all his friends, and he tried to gaslight me and tell me that we weren't exclusive. One time, we got into a fight in physics class, so he broke up with me during that class. He would mock my family members or make fun of them and like talk crap on them to me. I could make like 4 more of these, but here is the makeup for today. Love you all.
So I just did the thing. I can't believe I did the thing. That was the hardest goodbye I've ever had to do. I've been bawling for the last 3 hours, so I'm kind of just like numb. We literally hugged for the last 3 hours. And then we decided sitting here is not gonna make any of this easier. We hugged. That's the last time I'm ever gonna see him again. Well, that got me. That got me. He said that to me. He's like, you sure you want this to be the last time we ever see each other again? Straight up. We were gonna have a nice dinner, sat down, started eating. I couldn't keep it together. I felt like I was gonna throw up. Started bawling. He realized, oh, this is something different. Not just, I miss you, because I moved back home, you know? He cried. I spilled, or tried to. I wrote like a whole note I ended up giving him because I was not articulating very well. Literally the last 4 years I spent with him flashed through my head, and I just completely lost it. I still do think that this is for the best for the both of us, but that doesn't make it hurt any less. I loved that man. I don't think the emotions have hit. They probably will on my drive home, because I'm about to turn on some Noah Khan, some sad music. He took it so well. The way that he handled it made it even harder to like follow through and do. There was a point when I was like, do I want this? But like I have been telling myself that I want this. I could not go back now. I need peace. I need clarity. And I think this is the start of a very exciting new chapter where I find myself, begin my healing process. It's gonna be a lot of emotions, lots of pain, lots of sadness, but I feel like this might just be the start of something very beautiful. So, yeah. I opened my fortune cookie because we went to Panda Express. It reads, take the risk you've been considering.
Get ready with me. Y'all, listen to this. Y'all remember that boy that I was dating? Let me tell you, he was a complete So like we were like talking for a minute. I've known him for a while, but he was always a very nice kid. Then I started dating him and he turned into a complete, like a whole nother person. And I feel like we all know that I'm not somebody that you can just sit there and nag at, but he would nag at every little thing. If I was breathing too much air, it was a problem. Actually, right after I got a nose job, he told me that my nose was ugly and called me Cindy Lou Who and Miss Piggy, bro. That is so messed up. Like, I literally obviously got a nose job because something was wrong with my nose. Why would you say that? Why would you say that? I would describe him like he was a where are you going, what are you doing, who are you trying to look good for, rather than a oh, you look so pretty, what are you doing tonight? Oh, go have fun, like that, you know? And like if I had my makeup done and my hair cut, he'd be like, you're a bop. You're 20. Why are you saying bop, bro? What? Like doing my hair and makeup is what I'm known for. It's my favorite thing in the entire world. It's like therapy for me. What? So one night he drove to my house because he got into a fight with his dad or something. I don't know, and I really don't care. And I literally told him, do not come to my house because my parents did not like him because he was a junior in college chasing a senior in high school. Like, and it was just like very obvious that like he was trying to seek the benefits from being with me or something. I know I'm cool, but dude, I am not that cool. I'm not that special. And I am only saying this because I am trying to burn this bridge. I never want to talk to this man ever again in my entire life, and I'm trying to show him that I will never go back. Like, that is embarrassing on me. Bro was low-key a bum. Junior in college, no job. He believed he was going pro in baseball. Pro, yeah. MLB, yeah. I mean, go you for following your dreams. Let this video motivate you and get there. But, like, come on, reality has to hit sometime. Like, in the end, he... Get ready with me. Y'all, listen to this. Y'all remember that boy that I was dating? Let me tell you, he was a complete... So, like, we were, like, talking for a minute. I've known him for a while, but he was always a very nice kid. Then I started dating him, and he turned into a complete, like, a whole nother person. And I feel like we all know that I'm not somebody that you can just sit there and nag at, but he would nag at every little thing. If I was breathing too much air, it was a problem. Actually, right after I got a nose job, he told me that my nose was ugly and called me Cindy Lou Who and Miss Piggy, bro. That is so messed up. Like, I literally obviously got a nose job because something was wrong with my nose. Why would you say that? Why would you say that? I would describe him like he was a where are you going, what are you doing, who are you trying to look good for, rather than a oh, you look so pretty, what are you doing tonight? Oh, go have fun, like that, you know? And like if I had my makeup done and my hair cut, he'd be like, you're a bop. You're 20. Why are you saying bop, bro? What? Like, doing my hair and makeup is what I'm known for. It's my favorite thing in the entire world. It's like therapy for me. What? So one night he drove to my house because he got into a fight with his dad or something. I don't know, and I really don't care. And I literally told him, do not come to my house because my parents did not like him because he was a junior in college chasing a senior in high school. Like, and it was just like very obvious that like he was trying to seek the benefits from being with me or something. I know I'm cool, but dude, I am not that cool. I'm not that special. And I am only saying this because I am trying to burn this bridge. I never want to talk to this man ever again in my entire life, and I'm trying to show him that I will never go back. Like, that is embarrassing on me. Bro was low-key a bum. Junior in college, no job. He believed he was going pro in baseball. Pro, yeah. MLB, yeah. I mean, go you for following your dreams. Let this video motivate you and get there. But, like, come on, reality has to hit sometime. Like, in the end, he...
Get ready with me for day one of never seeing him again. As a lot of you guys have guessed, me and my boyfriend did break up. And last night was probably one of the hardest things that either of us have ever had to do. This is what I mean when I say don't trust social media, because our relationship has never been easy, and it's really hard to accept that when you're young and in love, but there comes a point where it's just too much, and honestly neither of us deserved the relationship that we were in. This is his shirt. Last night I was supposed to give him everything back, but I just needed a shirt. And last night was so hard because it was so good. You know, you love someone when in the end you both can just be mature and set aside your differences and wish each other the best and have like one last good everything, you know? Sorry, just give me a second. I need a cry break. I just woke up. I'm not allowed to cry anymore. But I got home at 2 a.m. because neither of us could walk away. At the end of the night, after literally like 5 hours of just crying into each other's arms, like, you feel the love so much. It's so hard to accept that you can't keep going. We've tried before. We broke up about a year ago for like 4 months, and we both really got our stuff together, but at the end of the day, there just seems to always be a pattern. We're both just at the point in our lives where we can't risk it again. Like, yes, what if, but we just can't put ourselves through any more of that. And it's so hard because like you want to change, like I want to change, like I want to keep it going. I don't want anyone else. I'm genuinely being so for real. I do not want anyone else. I don't want to talk to anyone. I want him, you know? But at the end of the day, we were both trying to force each other to be the person that we obviously weren't. Especially me. I struggle a lot in relationships. I always have. And this was my first everything, you know? Like, he was literally my first everything. So I'm trying not to feel so much self-blame right now, but literally right now I just feel like it's all my fault, you know? At the end of the day, you know, it takes two people to burn a relationship to the ground, and it's never been easy. In the 2 years we've known each other, it really hasn't been easy. And it makes it so hard to let go because the goods are so good, but the bads are so bad. You hang on to the good things for so long, but there becomes a point where the pain it's not worth it anymore.
Story time on how my ex-boyfriend cheated on me. So people have asked me to film this video again because apparently in my old video some people can't hear me or something, and apparently all the sound went halfway through. So here is how my ex-boyfriend cheated on me. So basically, to get started with, so we were sat on my bed, like literally going through my phone, like not just going through it to see if there was anything on it, because there was literally nothing on it. I had nothing to hide, but we would just sit there like scrolling through TikTok, like replying to all the girls on my phone and just doing all of that. And he was like, oh, do you want to go through my phone? But he kept kind of saying it to me, so I kind of felt like I trusted him. Do you know what I mean? So I didn't need to look through his phone, because while we was looking through mine, he kept saying, oh, you can always trust me, like, you know, you can always trust me, like, I've got nothing to hide. And I was like, yeah, no, like, I know you don't have anything to hide, like, blah, blah, blah. So I believed him, so I said, no, we don't need to look through your phone, it's fine. So basically, he would take his phone everywhere with him, and I mean everywhere, like, he would not leave it anywhere. So he went to the toilet, and this was the first time he'd ever left his phone, and I think he kind of forgot that he left his phone. And it was sat right next to me, and when I tell you, like, a whole load of messages came through from girls, like, ding, 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 ding. So I had a quick, like, look, and I was like, are you taking the piss? And guys, do you want to know what he said to one of them? He was like, oh my god, I love and miss you so much. And she was like, oh my god, I miss you so much, I love you more. And then he was like, sorry, I haven't been replying to you properly, I've been at my boy's house. Sorry, your boy's house? You've been literally sleeping in my bed the past 2 nights. You're at your boy's house, yeah? Alright. Sorry if I come across as rude talking about it. It honestly just makes me so angry knowing, like, he literally met my family, like, a few days ago, and he's sleeping at my house, and he's messaging so many girls. I was just so upset. So I honestly dread to think how many girls' houses he used to go to when he used to tell me he was going to his boy's house. Like, it's honestly so bad. And I don't see how someone can do that. Like, I genuinely don't see how someone can have the audacity to even do that. But anyways, I'm all ready now, so let me know if this is on your For You page and I'll try to follow you all back.
If you guys want to know how my day's going, I just paid my ex-boyfriend $5,000 because he sued me for our dog. Originally, I didn't think that I was going to post about this, but I absolutely am because it's literally so absurd. I have my court papers here that he served to me on my birthday that I will read for you guys, but first I think it's important to give a backstory on why I got the dog to begin with when I moved out when my ex and I broke up. We were obviously living together at the time. We were living together for a little over a year, and on the day that we broke up, he was at work. It was a Thursday, like in the middle of the day, and I was working from home. We were fighting for a good like 2 weeks, and I think we both knew like that the end was near, but he texted me on this day, on the Thursday, and was like, we need to talk when I get home. And I was like, are you breaking up with me? And he was like, yes. And I was like, okay, what are we gonna do with Bella? Bella was like 100% my first concern. That's really all I cared about at this point. But he texted back and he was like, I don't know, we'll figure it out. So he gets home from work at like noon on the day that we broke up, and he walks in the door and he was like, we're breaking up, I'm taking Bella, you're never gonna see her again. And I was like, what do you mean? You just told me that we would figure something out. And he was like, yeah, I just said that so that you wouldn't like take the dog before I got home. He was like, say your goodbyes, like I'm taking her to my parents' house right now until you move out of this house. And at this point, I'm like hysterically crying. Like I think he knew that the only way that he could possibly hurt me was to like take my dog. Like I don't even think that I can really like conceptualize for you guys how upset and just like in pain I would be if he would have taken her that day. So I'm like hysterically crying at this point. I like grabbed her by the collar and I grabbed my keys, and so I had my keys in my phone and I had Bella by the collar, and I'm like, no, I'm taking her like out the back door. Like I was like, I'm leaving with her, you're not taking her to your parents. So I tried to take her out the back door. He slammed the door in my face, Things got really heated. I was like, I'm calling the police. And he was like, Erin, you're not calling the police. I grabbed my phone and I started dialing 911 and he took my phone away from me. So I ran up the stairs with Bella into like the guest room that I was using as my office at the time. And I like grabbed my work phone. Luckily my work phone was charged and I called the police off of my work phone. Cops came and they let me take Bella home with me that day, but they were like, you two need to like figure it out on your own. Like the cops aren't gonna get involved with like who gets to keep custody of a dog. So they were like, yeah, maybe in a couple of days when you like come back to get more of your stuff, you can like bring her and drop her off for a couple of days. But I'm sorry to do this. I'm gonna have to go to part 2 on how I got sued for $5,000.
If you've recently been dumped, I have to tell you something that just happened to me. I've been dumped twice. I've only been dumped until I got married. First time I got dumped was 11 years ago. I've been milking this breakup for 11 years. Like if my ex-boyfriend has any like concept of my online presence, he's probably like, "Okay, bitch, shut the fuck up." But anyway, I'm not going to. He dumped me for another girl. When I tell you I was catatonic, you think you're bad. There was no one worse than Ativan, cigarette, falling and hanging up, stalking, waking up every morning crying. At one point I hyperventilated into a paper bag while my mom rubbed my back and my dad was like, what the hell is going on? I could not believe how bad it was. It was the worst feeling in the world. Like literally I lost 20 pounds. I was in class when he dumped me also. I was in lecture. I got a phone call. I'm getting dumped. Okay. It was also an ice storm that year. God damn it. Skate home. Dummy a pack of cigarettes. It was a fucking nightmare. Anyway, I was so fucked up over that for like, honestly, years. Probably like a year and a half, maybe 2 years. You know, we like start sleeping together on and off. When is this gonna end? Still with the girl he left me for. He ended up marrying her. Spoiler. But anyway, last week, my cousin sends me a picture of me and her and like our other cousins at the cottage. And I just look at it and I'm like, I respond, I'm like, oh, cute. My husband, oh my God, it's senior skip day. Guys, this is so fun. It's senior skip day and I see all the high school kids like getting buckled outside. They're going to experience the heartache I'm talking about. Oh my God, the boys and girls. The boys and they're wearing pajama bottoms and shit. This is so fucking cute. Anyway, that's not what I was talking about. My cousin sends me this picture. I say, oh, cute. And then I show it to my husband and I'm like, oh, look at this picture of me and my cousin. He goes, isn't that your ex-boyfriend? I go, where? And he goes, that one. I go, oh. Good eye. It's not a picture of like 40 people. It's a picture of like 5 people who are actually doing a pyramid on the beach. And he was on the bottom. He was one of the, you know, the anchors of the pyramid. I didn't even see him there. Honest to God, didn't even see him there. Looked directly at his face and was like, didn't clock. If you told me when I was 21 or 22, however old I was, there would become a time where I would see a picture of that man and nothing happened in my brain, not even like, oh, that's him, that's funny. Nothing. I just looked at him and was like, that must be one of my cousins because I don't know who else that could be. Whoa. A testament to getting older too, because like my parents have these pictures in the basement. It's like cut out collages from the 80s of them and all their friends. And I'm like, who's that? Who's that? And they're like, oh, that guy. Haven't seen that guy in like 25 years. Just think you're going to hang out with people or be with people forever, but you're really not and you don't give a fuck. Was this comforting or was this something else entirely?
This ain't right. This is life. This is love, baby.
Fordi de stolte veldig mye på han, fordi i den perioden så løy jeg veldig mye til mamma og pappa. Så mine ord ble veldig, veldig svake, så han kunne finne på å si til dem at jeg hadde gjort det og det, eller ikke gjort det og det, hvis jeg nektet å ligge med han. Og da kan jeg også slenge med at han var med på familieferie og ble sur da jeg ikke hadde lyst til å ligge med han rett ved siden av familien min, og at jeg nektet å, på han midt på en parkeringsplass i familiebilen, bare fordi mamma og pappa skulle inn og kjøpe brus. Han var også veldig, veldig flink til å fortelle meg hvor stygg jeg var, og hvor tjukk jeg var, og at ingen kom til å like meg like mye som han noen gang gjorde, og fikk meg til å føle at han var den eneste som kunne få meg til å føle meg bra igjen. Jeg kan avslutte første del med å fortelle at han skjenket meg på en fest, dyttet meg inn på et rom, fortalte meg hvor stygg, ekkel, feit, hvordan ingen likte meg, Så han skjønte ikke hvorfor han var sammen med meg. Så prøvde han å ligge med meg. Jeg blånekta fordi jeg gråt jo, obviously. Han fortsatte, og den eneste grunnen til at han ikke meg da, var fordi en av kompisene hans kom og redda meg. Fordi han hørte at jeg skrek. Er det rart jeg har traumer? Nei. Det verste her er jo at neste dag tilga jeg det. Fordi han er jo egentlig verdens beste. Og disclaimer, jeg snakker om flere ekser nå, sånn at ingen tror at jeg driver liksom og pointer ut en. Selv om jeg godt kunne gjort det, og fordi some people deserve it. Ja, jeg har mer, så lik og kommenter for en del 2.
Okay, so story time about how my ex and I broke up and how we got back together and have been back together for over a year now. And we moved back in together. So we had lived in Arizona. We now live in Florida. We had been dating for about 3 years before we moved to Florida. And literally within like 2.5, 3 months of us moving from Arizona to Florida, we broke up. And I moved out of our apartment that we just moved in Florida with our dog. We have a golden retriever. So I had to move out and I like packed my things. Luckily, my parents lived in the Naples area, so I lived with them for a couple of months so I could figure out where I was moving to, what city I wanted to move to, because it's always awkward if you like live in the same city as your ex. So we live in Fort Lauderdale now, and I was like, fuck that, like I'm gonna move to Miami, like pop off in my single girl era, just like, you know, start a full new chapter. To make it even more awkward, we kind of had a more dramatic breakup than normal couples, I would say, because I had posted a TikTok kind of about the breakup, which in hindsight, I probably shouldn't have done that because, you know, whatever, but you live and you learn. And I didn't expect it to get any views, like none at all. And it ended up getting like 6 million views. So like it literally made news articles and I felt really bad, but you know, whatever, it's all in hindsight now. So basically like a portion of the world knew about our breakup. So that was a little bit awkward to kind of digest and move past for the both of us. Then he went on a trip to like kind of like give me time to pack my things and leave. So I told him what I wanted. I wanted our couch. He said no. He said you can have, you know, anything but the couch. I was like, okay, like I'm gonna leave the big things we got from the furniture store that we purchased when we moved here. Like I'm gonna leave those and I'm just gonna take what I want. And so I did, and he got back from his trip and he was like really pissed off, like tried to accuse me of robbing him. Like there's this big old thing. So we're both like fucking pissed off at each other. And which in hindsight now it's like kind of funny, but it is, but it's not. Okay, so I am gonna have to make a part 2 because I'm so long-winded with this story and it's kind of long, but go to part 2 for the rest.
Tomorrow will mark 3 months since I got broken up with, and I just found out that my ex-boyfriend is back on the dating apps. So let's talk about that. I've been asked this loads, like, how do you feel about the concept of dating again? And I've always said ignorance is absolute bliss, and ignorance was bliss until the bliss was broken. I will be honest with you, when I saw that he was back on the apps, although it had been 3 months and I've said on here like I'm open to the concept of dating again, I think it's probably quite important to mention that I also was very happy and ready to be in a relationship. I was loving the relationship I was in and I was giving it like my absolute all. I have said I will not talk about my relationship online and I still stick to that, but I was very ready to be in a relationship and that was not reciprocated, which is why my relationship ended. It's really hard to be the person who is so ready to give like all the love in the world and for that to not be reciprocated. So yeah, I really struggled with that at the time. I knew that if I was to find out this piece of information, it probably was going to trigger something in me, but I think I was very much under the impression like if they were ready it would be me. Probably feels slightly different after the whole TikTok series. Fair enough, I'll let him off. Straight away when I saw it, which is probably about an hour ago now, I took it really personally, to be completely honest. It's one thing I'm really bad at, is taking things really personally and taking it such a personal hit to like my character or my looks. I suppose like any form of rejection, it's just like that's just how I process it, and that's definitely what I thought was like, oh, okay, it was because you just weren't good enough. And I wanted to make this video, especially when I was just feeling quite like vulnerable and oh god, like I probably tomorrow will be like, this is, you know, this was funny. I want to tell you that if you find out similar, you find out they're back on the apps or whatever it is, or they've been dating again, it's got nothing to do with you. It's got nothing to do with how great you are, how loving you are, or how you look, or how you act, or anything about your character. You are more than enough just as you are, and you will be more than enough for the right person. I know that my ex-boyfriend is not a bad person for 3 months after breaking up with somebody wanting to date again. It's a very normal amount of time. He is completely free to do what he wants. Apologies to him, I may have sent him a little rage message when I found out, broke the no contact, sorry, I will apologise to him. It's just got nothing to do with me. And I wish him the best. I hope he has a great time dating. There's a lot of pretty girls out there in the city of London. It's got nothing to do with me. And I am, and you are, more than enough. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say today. Tomorrow will mark 3 months since I got broken up with, and I just found out that my ex-boyfriend is back on the dating apps. So let's talk about that. I've been asked this loads, like, how do you feel about the concept of dating again? And I've always said ignorance is absolute bliss, and ignorance was bliss until the bliss was broken. I will be honest with you, when I saw that he was back on the apps, although it had been 3 months, and I've said on here, like, I'm open to the concept of dating again. I think it's probably quite important to mention that I also was very happy and ready to be in a relationship. I was loving the relationship I was in, and I was giving it like my absolute all. I have said I will not talk about my relationship online, and I still stick to that. But I was very ready to be in a relationship, and that was not reciprocated, which is why my relationship ended. It's really hard to be the person who is so ready to give like all the love in the world, and for that to not be reciprocated. So yeah, I really struggled with that at the time. I knew that if I was to find out this piece of information, it probably was going to trigger something in me, but I think I was very much under the impression like if they were ready, it would be me. Probably feels slightly different after the whole TikTok series. Fair enough, I'll let him off. Straight away when I saw it, which is probably about an hour ago now, I took it really personally, to be completely honest. It's one thing I'm really bad at, is taking things really personally and taking it such a personal hit to like my character or my looks. I suppose like any form of rejection, it's just like that's just how I process it, and that's definitely what I thought was like, oh, okay, it was because you just weren't good enough. And I wanted to make this video, especially when I was just feeling quite like vulnerable, and oh god, like I probably tomorrow will be like, this is, you know, this was funny. I want to tell you that if you find out similar, you find out they're back on the apps or whatever it is, or they've been dating again, it's got nothing to do with you. It's got nothing to do with how great you are, how loving you are, or how you look, or how you act, or anything about your character. You are more than enough just as you are, and you will be more than enough for the right person. I know that my ex-boyfriend is not a bad person for 3 months after breaking up with somebody wanting to date again. It's a very normal amount of time. He is completely free to do what he wants. Apologies to him, I may have sent him a little rage message when I found out, broke the no contact, sorry, I will apologise to him. It's just got nothing to do with me. And I wish him the best. I hope he has a great time dating. There's a lot of pretty girls out there in the city of London. It's got nothing to do with me. And I am, and you are, more than enough. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say today.
Guys, this guy flew me to Miami for our like second date for like a vacation thing, and I'm pretty sure he ghosted me while we were here. Like, he left. I have no idea why, and I know this sounds like naive, but I really don't think it was anything I did, but TBD, because I don't know why he left or when he left or how. He drove, but whatever. We're gonna call him Michael for the purpose of this story. So yesterday, Michael was like, oh, I'm going to go get lunch with my sister really quickly. I haven't seen her in 2 years. I'll be back at noon. I was like, okay, cool. Just don't forget we have these hard-to-get lunch reservations at 1:30. He's like, yeah, I'll be back before then. So I went to the pool, minded my business, you know, soaking up the sun. At 1:10, I was like, hey, where are you? Like, don't forget about lunch. No answer. And then at 1:20, I said, where are you? Like, are you picking me up for lunch? Because he has his car here. Like, he drove a couple of hours away from Tampa. And I was like, hey, like, where are you? Then I started getting really frustrated, and I texted him something like, yo, this is just so disrespectful to me and my time, and like blah blah blah. And he's like, hey, sorry to be non-responsive, I just found out some devastating news, blah 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 blah. Okay, I'm a very caring person. I don't think that's the word, but I'm a very trusting person. So I was like, oh yeah, like something happened, which to this time I feel like something still happens. My friend don't think that something happened. They're like, oh, he definitely has a secret wife who was like, get your ass home. But it gets worse. I pushed the reservation back to 2. He misses that reservation too. And like, this is before he told me he had this quote devastating incident. And so housekeeping, and I promise this is important, housekeeping ends up coming, and I was like, okay, like this is at 3:30, I think. I was like, you can come on in. And after they made the bed, I took a nap. And so obviously they cleaned the shower too, which is important. And as I'm getting ready to go hang out with some of my other friends, I was like, fuck this. And I think this is still before I knew what happened. Actually, I think I knew that there's this quote devastating event. And so then I look around and I look in the corner and I realize his stuff's not there. I was like, did he come get his stuff while I was taking a nap? Like, that is so disrespectful. And there is the possibility that he possibly got it while I was at the pool and he was supposed to be home by noon and like all of that. That could have possibly been when he got it, but I don't know because we're both very clean when we travel. So our stuff is like very compact. It almost looks like somebody's bedroom. But if he did get it while I was napping, that's disrespectful. And I noticed this morning when I was showering that there was a washcloth that was wet in there. I was like, did he get his stuff and then shower? Because housekeeping would have cleaned it up yesterday if he had showered before they came. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, that would be so disrespectful. My friends like, were you sleeping through all of this? I was like, yeah, I'm a tank. So not quite sure what's happening right now. I'll keep you guys updated. I'm gonna go run up some room service. Anyway, here's the first of many pina coladas on his tab. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm freaking pissed. Pissed. So, fun little story time. Here we go. So, my boyfriend of 8 months, almost a year, and we've known each other for a year now, straight up ghosted me. We had a really loving relationship. It was really affectionate, really vulnerable. We told each other how much we loved each other every single day. We were best friends, like, especially before we started dating, we were friends. And he told me all the time, like, how much he wanted to marry me one day, how amazing I am, how I'm the most beautiful girl that he's ever seen. Okay, so I invite him on my family vacation. Mind you, I haven't been on a full family vacation since, like, way long ago. Not just, like, an immediate family vacation, like, uncles, grandparents, cousins. So we spend, like, almost 2 weeks in Hawaii together. All paid for, by the way. He didn't pay for any of it, which was fine because, like, we were treating him and, like, that's what we do. So we get back from vacation together. By the way, he said it was the best vacation he's ever been on in his life and that he wants to, like, move to Hawaii and he loves it. And we spend, like, 3 days together since coming back to LA where I live. We have a really fun 3 days, good time. So I leave his house and we're texting. So he goes and applies for this job interview. I'm asking him how it's going and all this stuff. He's texting me, whatever. And then the rest of the night, he just, like, stops texting me. And I'm just like, okay, like, he's just with his friends or something, like, whatever. And then the next day rolls around. I still haven't heard anything. I'm like, what the fuck? Mind you, too, he texts me all the time. Like, that's the precedent that he set in the beginning of our relationship. We talk all the time. 2 more days go by. Nothing. Obviously, I'm texting him this whole time being like, hey, you good? I had to literally DM his brother to see if he was alive. I have anxiety, okay? I thought this man's was, like, dead in a ditch somewhere. I was freaking out. His brother's like, oh, yeah, no, he's cool. Like, the last time we spoke, like, weeks ago, he said you guys were great and happy and this and that. So I'm like, okay, cool. After, like, my 4th text to him or something, he responds with, like, a long-ass paragraph. He sent this long-ass thing, like, explaining himself. And he was like, oh, my God, you don't deserve any of this. I love you. Like, I've been going through things, but you don't deserve this at all. Like, I'm so sorry. So we're in the middle of this conversation, right? And then he just ghosts me again. Full-on ghost. His snap score is going up. Obviously, I'm checking. Like, the fuck? And I know he's, like, playing poker with his friends. And he, like, went to a basketball game today. So, yeah, I'm honestly at a loss because I literally never would have seen this coming from him. And as shitty as he sounds right now, I know for a fact he didn't cheat on me because he's just, like, not that type. Like, I promise y'all. But, yeah, shit makes no sense, and I'm pissed. So, I'm either going to break up with him or I'll update you guys. If this has happened to you, I'm so sorry. This shit sucks. I'll post a part 2 so you guys know what's going on. Okay, so I'm freaking pissed. Pissed. So, fun little story time. Here we go. So, my boyfriend of 8 months, almost a year, and we've known each other for a year now, straight up ghosted me. We had a really loving relationship. It was really affectionate, really vulnerable. We told each other how much we loved each other every single day. We were best friends, like, especially before we started dating, we were friends. And he told me all the time, like, how much he wanted to marry me one day, how amazing I am, how I'm the most beautiful girl that he's ever seen. Okay, so I invite him on my family vacation. Mind you, I haven't been on a full family vacation since like way long ago. Not just like an immediate family vacation, like uncles, grandparents, cousins. So we spend like almost 2 weeks in Hawaii together. All paid for, by the way. He didn't pay for any of it, which was fine because like we were treating him and like that's what we do. So we get back from vacation together. By the way, he said it was the best vacation he's ever been on in his life and that he wants to like move to Hawaii and he loves it. And we spend like 3 days together since coming back to LA where I live. We have a really fun 3 days, good time. So I leave his house and we're texting. So he goes and applies for this job interview. I'm asking him how it's going and all this stuff. He's texting me, whatever. And then the rest of the night, he just like stops texting me and I'm just like, okay, like he's just with his friends or something, like whatever. And then the next day rolls around. I still haven't heard anything. I'm like, what the fuck? Mind you, too, he texts me all the time. Like, that's the precedent that he set in the beginning of our relationship. We talk all the time. 2 more days go by. Nothing. Obviously, I'm texting him this whole time being like, hey, you good? I had to literally DM his brother to see if he was alive. I have anxiety, okay? I thought this man's was, like, dead in a ditch somewhere. I was freaking out. His brother's like, oh, yeah, no, he's cool. Like, the last time we spoke, like, weeks ago, he said you guys were great and happy and this and that. So I'm like, okay, cool. After, like, my 4th text to him or something, he responds with, like, a long-ass paragraph. He sent this long-ass thing, like, explaining himself. And he was like, oh, my God, you don't deserve any of this. I love you. Like, I've been going through things, but you don't deserve this at all. Like, I'm so sorry. So we're in the middle of this conversation, right? And then he just ghosts me again. Full-on ghost. His snap score is going up. Obviously, I'm checking. Like, the fuck? And I know he's, like, playing poker with his friends. And he, like, went to a basketball game today. So, yeah, I'm honestly at a loss because I literally never would have seen this coming from him. And as shitty as he sounds right now, I know for a fact he didn't cheat on me because he's just, like, not that type. Like, I promise y'all. But, yeah, shit makes no sense, and I'm pissed. So, I'm either going to break up with him or I'll update you guys. If this has happened to you, I'm so sorry. This shit sucks. I'll post a part 2 so you guys know what's going on.
Mijn meest gevraagde storytime is de storytime over mijn ex die in mijn tas had gepoept. Dus daar ben ik. Deze storytime heb ik dus al gemaakt. Dus sommigen kennen dit verhaal al, want het stond op mijn andere account. Maar mijn main account met 10,8k volgers is geblokkeerd helaas. Dus die video is weg. Maar ja, dus ja, de eerste keer dat ik deze video heb gemaakt is hij heel erg viral gegaan. En mijn ex heeft hem dus ook gezien. En mijn ex heeft me toen gebeld. En toen heb ik hem wel beloofd eigenlijk om geen video's meer over hem te maken. Because we on good terms. Ik heb geen ruzie met hem. Ik haat hem niet. Ik ben gewoon prima met hem. Geen contact, maar gewoon prima. Ik zou met hem een gesprek kunnen voeren. Dus ja, hij vond het niet heel leuk. Dus we hadden afspraak gemaakt dat ik het niet meer zou doen. Maar ik kreeg wel heel veel vragen en hij stond toch al online. Dus als je dit ziet, niet boos worden. Het spijt me echt. Dit is dus ook geen bash naar hem toe. Of wat dan ook. Maar ik wou gewoon een storytime doen. De relatie waar wij in zaten was al super toxic. Echt very toxic. Het was echt niet goed van beide kanten. Hij was toxic, maar ik was ook toxic. Ik ga niet voor je liegen. Gewoon, ik weet niet, ik was een heel andere persoon dan dat ik nu ben. Dus ik was gewoon... Ik moest nog veel leren. En dat heb ik nu gedaan. We hadden dus gewoon een keertje ruzie. We hadden zo vaak ruzie. We waren bij hem thuis. En ja, we kregen gewoon beef. En hij werd para. En ik werd ook para. Want ik was achter iets gekomen, maar... Ik mocht niet in zijn telly kijken, maar ik had het al een beetje gezien. Ik werd boos. Dus ja, we kregen gewoon een beetje vechten en zo. Oké, niet vechten, maar we kregen beef. En uiteindelijk, hij moest naar de wc, of hij wou naar de wc. Maar ik geloofde niet dat hij echt naar de wc moest, ja. Ik dacht, hij wil naar de wc, zodat hij op zijn telefoon lekker alles kan verwijderen. En me dan kan laten zien en dan gaat liegen. Ja. Dus ik dacht, nee, jij gaat niet naar de wc. Tot je het me laat hebben zien. Dus ik zei tegen hem. Dus ik ging voor zijn deur staan. Ik zei tegen hem van luister. Je gaat het laten zien en dan kan je naar de wc. Anders niet. En ik hield dat dus echt vol. En uiteindelijk toen zei hij van ja, als je niet voor die deur weggaat, dan ga ik in je tas poepen. Kill, waarom poepen ook gelijk? Maar goed. Dus ik zei van nee, dat ga je echt niet doen. Ik geloofde echt niet dat hij dat zou doen. Ik zag hem niet als een persoon die dat zou doen. Ik had hem wel iets hoger ingeschat. Niet gemeen bedoeld. Ja, blijkbaar moest hij dus wel echt naar de wc.
Het was niet echt lang gaande, maar in ieder geval... Dus ik had al helemaal niet verwacht dat hij het zou doen, want zo lang was het niet gaande. Maar in ieder geval, hij pakte dus mijn tas. Hij gooide het nog leeg. En toen ging hij er gewoon in poepen, man. Hij ging er gewoon boven zitten. En ik stond erbij. Het was in zijn slaapkamer. Ik stond erbij terwijl hij in mijn tas zat te poepen. Dat was echt raar en awkward en just weird. En toen ben ik dus uiteindelijk naar huis gegaan. Ik heb die tas ik heb die tas niet eens meer aangeraakt. Ik ben weggegaan. En ik ging huilen. Ik ging nog huilen. Ik vond het echt crazy. Ik dacht van, no, je bent echt vies. Je bent echt raar. En ik wil niet met zo'n raar persoon in een relatie zitten. Like, je weet toch? Dus ja, ik vond het wel fucked up dat hij dat deed. Hij heeft wel een nieuwe tas voor me gekocht.
Hello people, er is een hele virale challenge in de Spaanse TikTok community en volgens mij ook in Amerika. En ik wil het graag in het Nederlands met jullie doen. Het komt er eigenlijk op neer dat jij ervaringen deelt van toxische oude relaties die je hebt meegemaakt en waarbij je alsnog bent gebleven. En eigenlijk is het een soort van awareness van ja, hoe ver je het eigenlijk hebt laten komen en wat je helemaal niet meer wilt. Dus ik dacht, laten we het ook doen. Hij loog over zijn afkomst, leeftijd en sprak met allemaal andere meisjes en toch ben ik gebleven. Hij ging vreemd met een meisje en stelde mij haar voor als zijn nichtje. Toen ik daarachter kwam vertelde hij dat het een misverstand was, dat hij in de war was en dat hij dit nodig had om te beseffen hoeveel hij van me hield. En toch ben ik gebleven. Hij werkte niet, want hij was van de straat en had nooit geld voor mij, had nooit geld om het leuks te doen. Maar wanneer het eindelijk een keertje goed ging en hij wat geld had, dan ging hij alleen maar kleren voor zichzelf kopen, kleding en telefoons voor allerlei andere meisjes, behalve voor mij. Eindstand kwam ik erachter dat hij dus vreemd ging, waarbij 9 van de 10 dames mijn vriendinnetjes of kennis waren. En toen ik hem daarop confronteerde, vertelde hij mij dat hij dat deed, dat hij zich heeft opgeofferd en dat hij dat deed om mij te bewijzen dat het niet mijn vriendinnen waren. Dat hij het eigenlijk heel moeilijk vond om dat te doen, maar dat hij me echt heel graag wil bewijzen dat het mijn vriendinnen niet waren. Dat hij zich daarom heeft opgeofferd voor mij. Ik geloofde het, ik vond het zelf zielig en ik ben toch gebleven. We hadden over het algemeen een stabiele relatie, dat dacht ik dan. Hij had een kind van een eerdere relatie en mijn oudste dochtertje was ongeveer 2 of 3. Hij zei dat hij een afspraak had dat hij geld moest maken, want ook hij was van de straat. En vroeg of ik kon oppassen op zijn dochtertje, wat ik helemaal geweldig vond, aangezien ze ongeveer van dezelfde leeftijd was als mijn dochter en ze heel leuk samen konden spelen. Nou, ik oppassen. Zij sliep dus bij mij samen met mijn dochter. Ik oppassen. Ik vond het echt helemaal leuk, helemaal geweldig. Kwam ik er later achter dat hij afgesproken had met zijn ex, dus met zijn babymama, om intiem te zijn en ik dus de oppas was van zijn kind. Ik kwam er later achter. Hij zei dat hij informatie uit haar wou halen, die daarom zo ver heeft laten komen. Ik geloofde het en was toch gebleven. Ik werd jarig om precies te zijn, 21 jaar, en ik zou dat groot thuis bij mijn moeder vieren. Ik had het met hem al een tijdje besproken en hij gaf aan dat hij de helft van alle kosten zou betalen. Tot hij een week van tevoren vertelde dat hij niet kon komen omdat hij geen genoeg geld had voor zijn outfit en dat hij niet zou komen als hij geen goede, fatsoenlijke outfit had. Waarbij we een discussie kregen, want ik had zoiets van, je hebt me al niet geholpen met het geld. Heb je niet eens geld voor je outfit? Uiteindelijk kwam hij met een oplossing en vroeg hij of ik hem wat geld kon lenen, dat hij die week erna het terug zou betalen, zodat hij toch een leuk outfit kon hebben. Hij bood aan om samen te gaan shoppen en dat ik kon zien dat het geld echt naar een outfit ging. Vervolgens shopte hij voor €300. Heeft hij dat geld nooit betaald en heeft hij daarna iedereen lopen vertellen dat hij mijn hele verjaardag heeft bekostigd. Ik kwam erachter en was het nog gebleven. I know, I was dumb as fuck. Ik moet 1 ding erbij zeggen, dit was allemaal voor mijn 22e. Dus this kind of things won't never ever happen. Ik leerde een hele leuke jonge man kennen en we begonnen te daten. We kregen al heel snel iets serieuzer. Hij ging overal met me naartoe, hij postte me op zijn WhatsApp. Ik wist bijna zeker dat ik de enigste was, of ik was daarvan overtuigd. Toen op een gegeven moment kwam ik erachter dat hij een vrouw had, die hoogzwanger was. En toen had ik hem geconfronteerd en toen zei hij tegen mij dat hij haar wou laten, maar omdat ze hoogzwanger is, dat hij wou wachten tot haar bevalling, omdat ze natuurlijk zwanger is en hij wilde dat niet aandoen. Ik geloofde het en ik bleef. Niet heel lang, maar ik bleef. I'm so happy dat ik deze dingen echt niet meer pik, dat dit zo lang geleden was. En nu ben ik heel erg benieuwd, wat heb jij allemaal meegemaakt? Wat zijn jouw toxic relatieervaringen geweest waarbij jij toch bent gebleven? Let me know in the comments and let's talk about it. Thanks for watching. Bye.
I lost my virginity at 15 to a 24-year-old. Yes, I'm very much aware that it's illegal. So I'm having a pub dinner, as you do, with my mother and my sister, who are both very, very smaddled. I was not, obviously, because I'm underage. And a guy came in who, to be fair, I mean, did not look 15, but he didn't look 24. Like, I'd say 19, 20. It was very short. I now know that he was at the pub meeting up with some old uni friends, but they were sitting on the table like diagonally across from me. My mum and my sister were here, I was here, so I could see them. They couldn't. Like, hours go by, literally hours. My mum and my sister are like bonding, they're drinking, I'm there like doing whatever. And you know, the sexual tension is there. At least I thought it was. Like, we was, you know, eyeing each other up. I'm like, oh my god, it's the love of my life. Spoiler, he wasn't. And so my very drunk sister, who is actually hilarious because she doesn't actually drink anymore, realizes that we're like eyeing each other up. He goes to the bar, so she rips off a bit of the menu and writes my number down on it. Goes up to him and goes, my sister thinks you're fit. Here's her number. I think she had like just turned 18. So he then starts texting me while we're in the same pub. Like, we're literally just texting, but like opposite each other, but he's obviously too scared to come over because I'm with like family, and he's like obviously out with his friends anyway, and we're texting for ages, but like I feel like nothing's really being said, but like it was a really random like conversation. But then my phone started dying, and I lived round the corner from the pub, like literally around the corner, so me being the little eager beaver I was like, oh my god, I have to go home and charge my phone so I can continue texting him even though he's like 2 feet away from me. So I run home, I sprint home and continue texting him. Honestly, I don't remember much else from that night. Like, I think we were just texting and then I fell asleep, like nothing like dramatic. I did find out that night that he literally lived like 3 roads away from me. I'm like, oh great, stunning. And so we started like texting like fairly often. Again, my 15-year-old mind is just thinking, oh my god, my first adult relationship. How lucky am I? He asked me to meet up with him, so I was like, oh my god, yes, a date, let's go. But he wants to go to a bar, and I'm like, he's very aware that I'm under 18. Like, how am I gonna like get in? And for some reason we didn't end up going, or I think we tried, but it wasn't like an ID issue. Like, I think the place we wanted to go to was just like full. So he was like, oh, why don't we go back to mine? And I was like, okay. He's stuck on a movie, and within minutes, this man was like on me. We were on the sofa, and he was like on me, like snogging the fuck out of me. And I think I'd had my first kiss at this point, but like a little like I don't think it was anything like it was nothing like major, you know what I mean? And I was like, what is happening? I was trying to be all mature, and I was like, oh my god, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, but like I was so not feeling it. Do you know what I mean? It was weird, I felt uncomfortable, it felt forced, and I was just like, oh my god, like no. Then he like moved to the bedroom. This is all in like 20 minutes of being at his house, and he tried to fuck me, and I was like, whoa, which I'm still proud of myself to this day, because I was really into him and I was 15, and I was like, you know, a fucking child being like, oh my god, no, this isn't right. And I was like, I'm a virgin. And he was like, oh, obviously that made him like me more. So then we ended up just like dry humping for a little while, which obviously was the first time I ever did that as well. I felt so mature. I was like, oh my god, like this is what older men do. And then I can't remember if he asked me to stay and I was like, no, I'm gonna go, or I think he asked me to. I honestly can't remember, but I left. He then sent me a message, I think the next day or that evening once I got home, telling me that he really likes me, but he's a grown adult man, and if I'm going to be in a relationship with a grown adult man, I need to do grown adult things. And I was like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. And I was like, do you know what? No. I was like, I'm not ready for this. I'm not going to do that. Like, this is wrong. Again, go Ellie. But then as, you know, time goes on, I think it had been like a day or two, and I was like, he's the love of my life. Like, what am I doing? I can do this. So I basically agreed to. It's so strange. And so yeah, I went over there and did it, and as we had like just finished, he was still in bed. I can laugh about it now. And I think I said to him like, oh, like, you know, at least we got that over and done with now, like, you know, now we can try and start something proper. And he was like, yeah, no, I changed my mind, you're still too young to be like serious with. Like, heartbroken. Instantly heartbroken. I then continued casually seeing him for like 4 or 5 years, so if you want the rest of that story, let me know. Love you.
Get ready with me to break up with my boyfriend of 4 years. In that sentence, it doesn't
I'm being real. This has been one of the hardest decisions, and it's definitely going to be one of the hardest videos I ever make. I'm scared. I'm heartbroken. I'm confused. But I know it's time. I know it's past time. And I just hope someday he's able to see that this really was in both of our best interests. I've always known this day would come. I just never really knew when I would actually have the courage to do it. And today is that day. We met in college. We were dorm room neighbors. And at that time, it felt like right person, right time. Like everything was perfect. We had routine. It was comfortable. It was convenient. It made sense. I was so in love. Really thought, this is it. I'm never gonna have to date again. Like I found my person, found my soulmate. This is the one I'm gonna marry. But as we all know, things change. And that's our situation. I graduated college a year and a half ago. We moved out together, even though he was still in college, and was really super excited. You know, like, this is my first time out of school. I'm ready to kind of explore this life, travel, chase my dreams, getting to know myself. And somewhere in that process, I realized I was outgrowing the version of myself that existed in that relationship. It was honestly, like, so difficult. Felt myself almost having to shrink down to fit into the relationship. That's kind of when problems really started to happen. I've known in my gut that I was not in the right relationship for me for about 2 years now, but I loved him so much that I just kept thinking to myself, things will change. And I think when we hit that 4-year mark, hit it in April, I kind of did some deep reflecting. I've been like journaling about this because it's been something that's been on my mind for quite a while now. And I noticed some repeated patterns that I was just hoping and wishing would change, but they weren't changing. And another thing I feel like I should add, I don't want to change a person to like fit with me. Like I want to find something that's just natural. We just got to a point where we didn't really see eye to eye anymore. I realized our goals for the future didn't really align. Just certain like things that are definite deal breakers for me. And I was hoping it would change, but that was wishful thinking. I think the part that makes all of this so hard is nothing catastrophic happened. Like there wasn't any big explosive breakup moment, no cheating, none of that. And that's somehow even more difficult to walk away from. So I packed up 4 years of my life and moved last week. Told them that it was kind of just to find myself and like self-growth, which it totally was. But it was also to separate from the situation and give myself that clarity. Are you making the right decision? Almost immediately, I felt some sort of like peace. That distance gave me clarity that I needed. And I just had to sit down and admit to myself, this is not the love that I want to keep choosing. But moving away has been so hard. We do like our nightly FaceTime calls. I almost felt like I had to like act like everything was all fine and dandy, even though it wasn't. And I've been holding it in. Feeling like I'm living a lie like that, honestly, broke me. As much as this breakup is going to hurt, I feel like I'm going to feel relieved. I don't have this weight on my chest anymore. It feels like my life's on pause until I get the thing done. Dragging it out is just hurting myself and him more. This is not fair to either of us. I need to do the hard thing that needs to be done. Loving someone and choosing someone are two very different things. You can love something while still realizing it is not good for you. It's just whether or not you choose to walk away. And now I'm choosing to walk away for both of our own goods. I know for a fact I'm the one that has to do it in order for it to be done, even though we both know that this has to happen. I just had to be honest with myself and realize we are not bringing out the best version of each other anymore. This is not really a healthy relationship anymore. Now I have to act. I am terrified to start over. I don't want to live a life out of fear. I want a deep love. I know some people might be wondering, like, why are you making a video about this whole thing? I need this for my coping process, all right? My boyfriend was very private and he kind of wanted me also to be private, which just isn't me. I'm very extroverted. I love talking and having fun, and I'm done pretending to be someone that I'm not. And I also know I am most definitely not the only person out there who's going through a situation like this and holding on to something that is slowly killing them. I'm truly, in my heart of hearts, doing what I feel is right. I can't apologize for that. I am really sad, and it's gonna be really hard to see him hurting, but I know in the long run, this will be for the best for both of us. And I already feel like a part of me that's been missing for so long is coming back. I have no idea what the future has in store. I am optimistic. I'm so proud of myself for sticking to my gut and finally having the courage to follow through. I'm just gonna get in there, do it, probably hug forever, and then that'll be it. Don't cry now, you've done so good. I'll keep you guys posted. Wish me luck. It's gonna be really difficult. Bye.
Tell the truth, I look better under you. I can't lose when I'm with you.
This claims to reduce fine lines, relieve puffiness, and brighten dark circles. Disclaimer, results may vary depending on skin type.
Trust me, the story gets worse. Did you guys know before we broke up, I literally bought this man a $3,000 Montclair jacket. Like, I was so in love with this man that I would do anything for him. So that's why us breaking up doesn't affect me, because it's his loss, not mine. And to answer some of the questions in the video, yes, that man has my name tatted. He actually has my name tatted on his wrist, and he got it done a couple months after we started talking. I don't even think we were officially dating yet. Yes, having a man's name tatted don't mean nothing. I'm saying all this to say that it's not my loss. I keep trying to explain to y'all, this breakup is not my loss. It's funny because y'all are under the impression that I still care about this man. Yes, we dated for 2 years and I'll always have some type of love for him, but I done moved on way long ago. If y'all follow me on Instagram, y'all will see the trips I've been going on, the bags I've been bought, the gifts, the money I've been getting. I've moved on. So maybe some of y'all are right in the comments. Maybe he is cheating on me with one of those little white girls from his med school. And before y'all come at me for saying white girls, he is the only black man in his whole med school cohort. And all of his female friends are white, with the exception of one brown girl who didn't even like me and I didn't like her. All this to say is, ladies, never let a man hold you down. Do not let a temporary situation do permanent damage on you. The way I get over men real quick is by telling myself my future husband would never do or say these things to me, and he wouldn't. On top of that, you know what this man said to me on one of the last dinners we ever went out on together as a couple? He really gonna sit there and ask me if I'm with him because he's in med school and he's gonna be a future doctor. The way I was taken aback by this question, because if anybody knows us or our relationship, y'all will know that this man did not have a dime to his name when he met me. He didn't know how he was going to get into med school. I literally gave him the med school application. Then he had no professors or teachers that could write him a letter of recommendation. So I introduced him to the people that could write his letter of recommendation to get into the med school. On top of that, I got him into the research program that he had to do in order to qualify for med school. And on top of that, my mother literally paid for this man's MCAT exam fee. So when he really asked me that, I was like, nah, this man has really lost his mind. Like, I was mentally checking out of the relationship because I'm like, he's become such a narcissistic person. This was not the man I fell in love with. And I really had to look at him and remind him who I was, because guys, I was such a loyal girlfriend that all the DMs, all the guys that liked me, he knew about it. I had NFL players, rappers, athletes, MLB players, literally athletes and rappers and music artists and streamers that he liked were in my DMs, were trying to talk to me, were trying to take me out on a date. I've dubbed millionaires, men that own private jets, to be with this man. So I really had to remind him of that. And he was like, oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, I know I'm right. I feel like that man really forgot who I was. And like I said, we went to the same college together. You know how many people in that school wanted to have a chance with me and I was dating this man? But the distance and med school really made him forget about all of this. So yeah, I really hope y'all don't think I'm over here sad about this breakup or I care if he cheated, if he didn't cheat. The reason I don't care is because I done moved on. And then y'all keep telling me not to be in contact with this man. If y'all were paying attention to the video, y'all would have seen that the last message he sent me, the first one was him asking me, you got it, is because he sent me money and I didn't reply. That money was still sitting in my Zelle. Then he texted me again a couple days after, I think, in the messages. I'm gonna put the screenshot. He texted me saying, you good. He checking in on me. Did I reply? No. Have I replied since then? No. The craziest thing about this whole situation, though, is I'm not even gonna tell y'all the worst thing this man has done to me, and he knows he don't want me to say it either. And the reason why I'm gonna keep it off the internet is because I feel like some things should stay offline, and I'm personally the type of woman that I would never try and jeopardize a black man's reputation or future. And yes, it was that bad. But anyway, yes, I was a little delusional. He did crash my car. He did have his female friends laughing at me. He did put me in multiple bad situations, didn't care for me emotionally, and he did probably cheat on me. Y'all are probably all right. But moral of the story is I broke up with him and I moved on. On my Instagram, all them trips you see me going on, all those dates I've been going on, all that money that's been spent on me, that's not from him. I've obviously moved on because I know who I am and he just lost a good one. Oh my gosh. And the funniest thing about him asking me if I'm only with him because he's going to be a future doctor or because he's in med school right now, the men that I talk to or the men that try to talk to me, they all have more money. Literally more, not more money than him now. I'm literally more money than even a lot of doctors in the United States have. And they have all that money now. It really wasn't even about that. It's about the fact that I love this man so much, but he became so confused in the brain that he just let something go. And I love myself way too much to put up with anything like that. The last thing I'm going to say is, yeah, I stayed through a lot of dumb stuff, but I am so happy I'm out of that relationship now, and I'm so happy that he showed his true colors now. I mean, if this man is treating me the way he is now as a M1 his first year of med school, imagine 2 years into med school. Imagine when he finishes and graduates. Imagine when he becomes a resident. Imagine when he becomes a doctor. He used to always hate when I used to call him narcissistic, but I saw the signs. I'm so happy I got out now, because imagine getting married to this man and having kids with this man, and God forbid he cheated on me in the future, or he acted the way he did now in the future. God makes everything happen for a reason, and I'm happy that I went through this now in this relationship so that I could break up with him and move on, than to have gotten married to him and have to deal with this. Moral of the story, ladies, put yourself first always, and don't ever hold a man down, because when he's up, he gonna forget about you and he's gonna do you dirty.